Hey, what's up YouTube boys and girls? Have a product here, or a tool that I've been wanting for several years, and I finally went ahead and uh, purchased it. A lot of you know about swag off-road products. There's more things I want to get from swag, but this particular one is for my Harbor Freight press, and I'll go ahead and open it and show you what we got here. It's the finger brake kit that you do it yourself and put it together, weld it, what have you, and I'm going to go into it a little bit. And for those of you, there's plenty of YouTube videos out there to show you how to put it together and everything, but I figured I'd go ahead and kind of show you what I've got, and we'll just go from there. So let's just do a box opening and find my pocket knife here. I don't know what I did with it. Hey, I don't know if you guys have heard about swag off-road. I think everybody has. But this particular tool I've been wanting for several, like I said, several years. Just never spent the money on it. They have some gooseneck dies that I'd like to purchase eventually. And they're not sponsoring me. I paid for this product off of their website. It's very well packaged. Hopefully I won't smash any fingers here. There's the bottom portion. It's very well packaged. There's your deals you put in here, weld these in. Have to clean these up a little bit, press them in there, what have you. These are your outer that hold the, you weld these in. I know from different videos and things, you kind of weld them to hold it so it don't slide out the You got your springs. Them's what supports your. So there's all that stuff. Set this off to the side. That one is really boxed up good. You always think you're ready to do these videos, and then something's missing to where you have to find and hunt. I'm just going to cut this like so. I like their packaging. They've packaged it pretty good here. And if you go onto their website, they've got a lot of different tools and things. And like I said, I don't know if all of you have been familiar with Swag Off-Road. I've been following them for several years. I just never had spent the money to try and you know, buy this stuff, because at the time I really, you know, I could have used them, but I didn't know how often I would. But here lately, fabricating stuff for the rat rod project and that, I just decided to bite the bullet and buy this. It's one of them things, you know, you don't always need, you know, certain things. These are for your deals to slide down on. Very well built. As you guys can see, there's their logo and stuff. Throw that off to the side. This is your back plate, like so. I don't know if you can see that or not. Comes with your instructions. Oh, got some stickers. Well, if I hold on to the instructions, gives you all your parts breakdown, everything that comes in the kit and stuff. Make sure you got everything. Pretty simple instructions, got plenty of pictures for you. Now what I'm going to do with mine, and I've seen a lot of guys do it, and I like the idea. These are the screw or the bolts and things that go into your, let me bend you down here a little bit. Know if you can see. But they go in here, and what I'm going to do is add washers to each one of these, just so when you're spinning that in and tightening it up, it don't galled into your. And I think the washer idea is a very good idea. I've seen a lot of guys do that. That's one of the modifications I'm going to do myself. I have access to stainless washers and things like that. So it tells you in the instructions to, you know, when you start putting it together, to, you know, put these in, get everything set. So now they make another one of these that is just the solid one. I chose to get the wider one, and I may go into another video explain why. But in this video, I think I'm just going to explain to you what I'm doing, putting it together, and we'll just kind of go through it together. Hopefully I won't bore you guys too much. A lot of guys too are taking the lock collar, and I may do it, but instead of the Allen, they're putting a like a bigger type set screw, but they're coming in both sides, drilling and tapping it, which I might do before I weld this. Eventually gets welded on top here. But when you do weld this, you know, you center it up and everything, do not weld it to this part. you're only welding it to the solid here. So, you know, that's something to keep in mind. So far, what you're going to have to keep in mind is you need a couple deals to square it up. I've got a digital angle because when you weld these, you don't only have that, but you have these. You have to weld. Get you down here where you can see. You have to weld these little, let's just open it up. Hopefully we won't lose everything. You have to weld or tack these in. This is your brace for this, and see if I can get this right. I think it goes like this, but this goes like that, and then this slides back and forth, and that's your guide for your metal and things. I don't know if you can see it very well. I'm getting out of focus here. But once you weld this on, then you got wing nuts, and you can take this on and off. Eventually, I think I want to powder coat this, so I may just spray a coat of clear on the whole thing for now. But I'm going to try to test fit everything and just go from there. And hopefully we can work through this. I'm only going to take, I think, the two smaller dies to put out here. Try to not mess nothing up here. Kind of leave me a little leeway there. But I think, so I don't get no slag or anything inside. They tell you to watch when you're welding. I don't know if you guys can see that. Watch when you're welding, not to get slag in here. When you do this, you know, it'll be a little bit harder once I set that in there and tack this. You know, just kind of watch where you're welding so you don't get it full of slag in that, or clean it up, sand it after you get it all. But right now I'm just going to put these. A lot of people may do it different. And the way I'm going to do it, probably, I think them are 3/4. For these bolts, I'm going to make a place on the press itself. Get you up here. Place on the press for the Allen, and a 3/4 to where I can just slide it in. It'll always be on the press. There's a couple other things I want to show you that I want to do. Like I said, I may not go into it in this video. It may just be welding this up, getting it set up, and we'll just go from there. But I am going to add a set of wheels. Probably run to Harbor Freight today and get a set of wheels so I can wheel it around the shop a little better. Plus, I want to make the feet on it a little more solid. The angle that's there, if you have the Harbor Freight press, you know that the angle and stuff they used on it isn't the best. So I'm going to make a pedestal to set it on. Plus, I want to make a another modification to where this will slide. If I'm using the press for something else, I can put this down below, and you can get on YouTube and YouTube it. I think there's a guy that does 17 modifications that he done with a Harbor Freight press, and I was very impressed. He was a gentleman that was a Kaizen. He would go into plants and things and tell people how to keep stuff organized and that, and he goes into how to keep your Harbor Freight press kind of organized, and he goes into it, and but that's another video in itself. Okay guys, this is it after I had welded it. I didn't think y'all wanted to see me weld and stuff. I cleaned it up. It's halfway decent. These are solid. These are the parts that go into the press, so when you stick this in here, this will help hold it so it don't push out the other side of the press. Also, this side here, I don't know if I can get in there, I've welded both sides flush. My welds, I need to clean them up a little better, but you get the gist. This is where the shaft had come down through, and if you'll notice, this is why I don't like the flux core wire. I'm gonna have to clean this up. It just splatters. There's nothing, nothing I can do. This other end here I kind of messed up on, so I had to cut it, take it out. I noticed when I was messing with it, it was off just a little bit, so I ground it out with my die grinder and that, where I tack welded it, and I just switched ends with it. This isn't going to hurt nothing because it's just floating anyway on the springs and that, but we'll go into it more later. What I'm fixing to do now is I'm putting these in, and then I'm going to tack weld it back here. I'll go ahead and get... Okay guys, I got to tack weld this in here. I don't know if you can see, but around this I'm just going to put some spot welds, and what that does in this outer wing nut, it will hold that in place for your bracket that goes like this. And all this does is support for, like, when you've got a piece of metal or whatever, you can extend it out here and it'll help support it. Or if you want to lock it in place, you can also this wing nut and stuff on the back side, if you've got a bunch of stuff, bunch of different product, or you want to run the same say brackets, you want to make 8 or 6 or whatever, you can move that to where it will help get it back every time, or you can make this do a residual bend every time. I'm going to go ahead, kind of sand on this angle iron. I'll explain when I come back, and yeah, we'll just go from there. This is harder than it looks to do each process, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, hopefully I can explain this to you a little bit better. I've got this here. I've tacked it along the back here. I'm going to tack the front here. And what I intend to do here, and make sure when you do this that you got the front to the front and the back to the back. But this is your die, or whatever you want to call it. And what I did, and I don't know if you can see it very well, try to turn you here enough. What I did with this angle here is I tried to level it up with where these cuts are on both sides, because that's the distance. And then I'm going to come back in here with my welder, and I'm going to tack these to where I know that these dies are all sitting flush in that groove. And that way when I come to make, a lot of guys will get angle and different things to stick in there if they want a smaller throat in here. What I'm going to do is make some up to where it's already going to be pre-made up. I don't have to worry, it'll just fit down in here. And like I said, that'll be probably another video. The main thing is I'm going to get this tacked up and that, and we'll just go from there. That could have been bad. All right, people, anti-splatter. You can pick it up, I believe, at Harbor Freight. I got this KT Industrial, I believe it is. I don't remember. It's nozzle anti-splatter. It works good for your welds and things. I'll do minimal cleanup on this, and I'll show you on the other one where I maybe be able to show you on this one. This one, it was just splattering and kind of messed up. This one over here, I was able to wipe it off, and I can take a grinder real quick. Kind of dress it up a little. I'll go back over this, clean that up. I got to clean my holes out where that splatter. That's the only bad thing about using, and like I said earlier, if that's all you have, get you up here where I can see you. If that's all you have is a wire feed and the flux core wire, use what you have. Don't go out, spend a whole lot of money. Eventually I'm going to get my bottle filled and that. I just procrastinated, and this will work. It's just a little more work for me to clean it up and that, and I'll show you at the end of the video once I get it painted and cleaned up. It's going to turn out okay. Excuse the wind blowing, and it's blowing everything every which way. We're under severe thunderstorm warnings, but anyway, yeah, on that aspect, use what you have. I can go get a bottle. My bottle's probably 10-15 years old. so I don't know if they're going to exchange it or not. And somebody was telling me that Tractor Supply has them. They're real small bottles, no more than what I would need, either for TIG welding or the wire feed. I wished I'd have kind of researched it and went today and got it, but you know, I kind of want to get on this project and be able to utilize this particular deal. So I think it's going to turn out okay. But like I said, be prepared. If you use the flux core wire, you're going to have to do some cleanup and clean everything really good and get all the little splatter marks and what have you. That's just a warning to you guys. But overall, the swag kit is one of the best ones I've seen. It's very well. I mean, you've got instructions here. You know, it tells you every step of the way. You know, what steps where. The instructions are very easy to read, very easy to see. Kudos to Swag for making it for the DIY guy. You know, I'm not, as you all well know, you know, I'm not a fabricator by trade. I'm definitely not that good of a welder. You know, if I had the proper tools, I can weld pretty good. But you know, with a rat rod project, it really don't matter. You know, I'm going to make it where it's presentable, to where it's presentable to me, and that's kind of why I'm going to do this swag bender. And like I said, I don't see, if you want, or a DIY guy, you know, you can't go wrong with this swag bender, especially doing it yourself. I probably should have took it to work. Welded it, you know, I'd have had everything there to make pretty welds and things. But it was, I wanted to bring you guys along for the ride, and that was the only reason why I kind of done it today rather than throughout the week, because you know, I probably should have took it to work and it looks so much better and that. But for what I'm working with, I think it's going to turn out okay. I'm going to go ahead and get this welded up, and we'll come back and I'll show you either the finished product or, you know, where I'm at. Okay guys, hopefully you can hear me over the wind blowing and all the stuff flying off roofs and things. I've got the lock collar. I took the little set screw that come with it, and I'm going to set you down here and kind of show you what I'm going to do. Hopefully you guys will see. What I'm going to do is, this is I believe, and this is not cooperating, and what I plan on doing is the 3/8/16, it'll screw in there really good. So what I'm planning on doing to this is about where my finger is, get right in here. I'm going to put one on each side of this plus the one that's here. And why I'm going to do that, guys, is this thing is sloppy. I noticed when I stuck it in the press, and I've noticed other people say that also. So if I have this to where I can screw both of these in, it'll keep it either way. So I'm going to go ahead and drill this out, and I believe it's a, let's look up here at the chart. All right, where'd I see it? And if you don't have one of these charts, man, you need to get them. They have them on Amazon. I'm not even seeing it. 3/8/16 is a zero drill bit, or 5/16. So and I've got a 0 drill bit, so we'll just go ahead and drill it out and just go from there. All right, got everything set up. What I did is tighten this up, got it in the vise. I'm going to use the hole that originally come. That way I know these two are pretty close to one another. There, theoretically, that should work if nothing moves. And we'll kind of give this a shot. But before I do that, I am going to spin this like that just in case something might go wrong. I hate to catch it on video. Alright, hopefully if everything works, got it all lined up. And we'll give her a shot. I'm going to run a pilot bit in the first hole to go all the way through, and then I'll turn around and go to the other. That way I know it gets right, or halfway close to being right. That was my key for the drill. Alright. Now then, that hole's pretty centered. We'll go to the 0 drill bit, grab my key. Make sure that's the one. I've been known to grab the wrong one once I And one time I had cross arrows on this that lit up in red, but I don't know what happened. It stopped working. I need to look into it. It sure did help when you wanted to center something up or whatever. But we'll darn sure give this a try, and hopefully it'll work for the best. Probably should have slowed it down a little. But that works. Find me a tap handle here. Probably ought to stick it in a vise, but be my luck it'd sling out of there. And I don't think I'm going straight. Let's move over to the table over here. There you have it. There, you have two of them in there right now. And then I'll put one more. That way I can center it both ways. This one's just a little off, but you know, for a town this size, I think it'll work. Um, I've got one of these. I think I'm gonna have to run a die. And yeah, I may just retap them all, but I'm gonna go ahead and drill this other one, and we'll just go from there. And yeah. And that right there is why I did that, because I don't have this face clamped down. Let's take you back over here. I'm afraid the wind's going to blow y'all over. I've already had to get a couple new tripods because getting knocked over or whatever, and this one got slammed in the door earlier, so it's on its last leg, and I mean that literally. I need to get some tapping fluid. And most of these, most of this stuff that I'm doing, guys, I didn't come up with these ideas. I've watched several videos on the swag off-road press brake. You know, there's a lot of different videos out there, and this is just my way of doing it. You know, the do-it-yourselfer, and I just kind of want to. I know the tool community. I don't know if they've seen a lot of these. You know, what different videos y'all watch and things, but you know, if you've seen this or whatever, fast forward through it, shut it off, you know, move on. I'm just doing this for the guys that's maybe not ever seen the swag stuff, and like I said, they're not sponsoring me. It's just I've researched them for 2 to 3 years and wanted one of these and just never had the money to spend it, and I, you know, kind of told my wife that that's what I was going to use for. We got a little bit back for taxes, and this was one of the items that I've been wanting forever, and just never bit the bullet. And finally, I did, and I'm glad I did. It's turning out halfway decent. I'd like the welds and things to be a lot better, and like I said, I wished I'd have took it to work and welded the stuff, but you know, I think it's going to turn out fine. Hopefully, you know, it will function the way it's supposed to, and that's all that matters. All right, let's finish tapping this, and then we'll move on to something else. Oh, I do want to remind you too, I've had this for quite a while. It's a heavy-duty flame tarp, and I need to get another one from Harbor Freight. It come in handy on welding some of this stuff. I tarped over so I didn't, you know, get a lot. I was having a whole lot of problems with that, and I. This is the deal I had drilled out. I welded it just to this part here. Make sure you don't weld it to this, because this has got to be removable. I went ahead and added washers. You don't get the washers with this particular deal with the swag. Like I said, I had a bunch of the washers and things. My weld here isn't the best. I've got a lot of, it looks kind of garbage-ish. But it works. I probably could have went back and reground that and filled it in. I know, I don't know if you guys noticed all of this. I sanded and ground down and tried to get it as smooth as I can, because that's mainly where all your bending and stuff's going to happen. That needs to be fairly smooth and that. I've got a little slag over in here on both sides, and I just decided to go ahead and, rather than powder coat it, I'm just gonna painted it flat black. I don't know if you could see these dies, but these are removable, and that's what I liked about this particular one. You pay a little bit more for the width and that, but you can put angle iron and things in there, and I'll go in more depth in the next video on that. These tabs I welded in both sides, and as you can see, I had a little trouble. Let me turn you around. I really don't recommend that you weld it with the the flex core wire. I wished I'd have took it to work and done it. It's been kind of a long day here, but I wished that I would either tagged it or used regular welding wire. It worked out fine, and I wanted it to be where I could help the DIY guy out. If that's all you had, or if that's the way you did things. That's why I kind of decided to do it that way. I just wouldn't recommend it. If I had to do it over again, I'd take it to work, I'd TIG it, or wire feed it with the gas. Overall, it's turned out fairly decent. I'm happy with it. Maybe we can try it once it dries. I'll do another video and we'll bend some metal and things. But overall, the swag off-road, I think if you're a DIY guy and that, I think that this is something that you can do, something that a lot of people think that this is probably above and beyond, or that they can't do it, but it's made, the instructions are so easy. I think a 9 or 10-year-old could, if they had any welding skills or anything like that, I think that they could do it. Overall, out of everything, I would give it a 10 plus. It's really not that hard to do. Anybody can do it. Just take your time, do a lot of measuring, get your, the initial stuff square. I took the channel iron, and on the bottom of it, I kind of smoothed it where it was flat. It fit in there a lot better. It welded a lot better. I wished, like I said, I wished I could have went ahead and TIG welded it, but it works. I think it'd be, what do I want to say? I just feel that, if this is something that you'd like to have as a tool for your arsenal, this is the way to go. You can buy them pre-welded and that if you don't want to, it's I think $100 more or whatever for the kit. But I only paid like 370, I want to say, or 340. I don't remember. It took me about a day, which I'm kind of, it's like 9:30, and I've been up since 4:30 this morning. So it's something I think you can do. Just have a whole lot of time. Spend time on it. I could have spent a little more time doing a little bit better welds and things, but I kind of want to get this video out. Plus, I'm going to use it for, the rat rod project, so I don't care how it looks. As long as it's functional, that's all I care. My press, I don't use that much. I'm going to do some more modifications to it, and I'll try to keep you guys in the loop. But overall, I think this is out of 10 out of a 10. I think, I would, for the hardness of it, I would say maybe a 7. If I can do it, y'all can do it. Don't be afraid to try it. It's a very utilized tool, I think. If you're doing any fabrication work or anything like that. I'm going to get off of here. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and we'll see you in the next video. God bless. Have a blessed week. And